All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene in South Philly a few moments ago. Boy, the city of brotherly love is fired up. They're saying fly, Eagles, fly as they get ready to match up with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. The shadows starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. A good convergence there defensively, only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And he'll be tackled at about the 35. A good run as he works his way for 9 that time, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and just a few inches. An early test for this defense. Here we go on 3rd and inches. They'll run with a former Badger. It's Corey Clement. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive. Defense had a chance to get off the field here in the opening drive. Couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. Finding some room at midfield. He gets it across the 50 and down to the 48. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. To throw is Wentz. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll get it down here to the 43. Give him 5 on the screenplay, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
I'm not sure that this play was designed for him specifically, but they got through the progressions and got the ball to him. So 2nd catch on the drive. He may not be a primary guy, but they definitely want him involved, don't they?
Absolutely. This early, the opening drive, as you said, 2 catches. So if they can get him going in the passing game, it should open up his running game, too. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. Back deep is Tavon Austin. Here's Austin. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 16. first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
And now they face a 2nd and 6 after the penalty. Prescott from the gun. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
This is Clement. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Go. 82.
On 2nd down, here's Wentz. Throwing the slant pattern here complete. A strong broken tackle on that one. And then they get him to the ground just shy of the 15.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. Now to try the Eagle field goal, Jake Elliott. From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt. And the kick by Elliott is good. And the Eagles, they take a 3-0 lead. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
second down. Prescott. On the right side, this is Austin with a catch. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49. 23 yards on the play.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
A first down carry by Elliott. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
The clock running here, under a minute to go now in the first quarter of a 3-0 game. Now an Eastern Michigan man, Darius Jackson on the carry. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down, keep the sticks moving.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll work his way inside the 30 now to the 28. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A gain of 11 and a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
They'll run it now out of the gun. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you could see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
On 2nd down, Elliott. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now with the play clock about to expire, we get a whistle and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Play number 9 on the drive coming up, and they need 9 yards on third down. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. The Cowboys will turn it over now to Dan Bailey for the field goal try. This will be a 34-yard attempt. And Bailey able to knock it through. And that will tie us at 3-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
A short gain there of just 4, and that'll bring up a 4th down.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the first down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, they got the safe completion on 3rd. The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Now the Cowboys offense heads back onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Here we go. All right, here we go. 46.
Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. The throw to the left side, caught by Coleman. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. And out now come the Eagles. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And some space here. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. So a minute 56 to play in this first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. Now they'll throw it. Wentz. Flush to his right. Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league and converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one there. Back to Mixon on first down. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside.
Hang in there now. Here we go.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. The tackle was made by Michael Bennett.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. The Cowboys on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. The Cowboys on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now Prescott. And this is taken in at the 5. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. And Bailey able to knock it through. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. Now the drive ends in just 3, but they'll take it. Looks like they'll head to the locker room, barring something unfortunate, in front on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they may not be jumping up and down and celebrating because they have the lead, but still, any little momentum in a game like this is important to a team. And they'll feel real good about going in and regrouping, knowing that they are out in front.
So if you like field goals, this is your game. 6-3, 3 field goals at the break. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, this is taken at his 4. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. A second down throw for Prescott. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50. Balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave them trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Looking to throw. Prescott throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Give him 6 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker board?
Yeah, those two.
Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Wentz to throw on second down. And down he goes. They bring down Wentz on the sack. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack. And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. The Eagles on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Now Wentz on the bootleg. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. It'll be called just a 22-yard punt. Certainly not what he wanted. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And a solid run down inside the 30. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. They go to Elliott again. And just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And it's Reuben Foster in on the tackle.
And that's one of the reasons we like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives them a 1st and goal.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Might we see our first touchdown of the game? Here's 1st and goal. Now Elliott. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Here's Elliott. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A good run that time. They couldn't close him down, and now 9 yards makes for a very different situation on 4th and goal. So now the field goal unit trots out there for the 3rd time tonight. Less than an extra point attempt here. This is an 18-yarder. And Bailey able to knock it through. And they continue to lead in the battle of field goals here. It's now 9-3. So that one is his 3rd of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trite expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. They'll run again with Clement. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Hang in there now. Hang in there now.
And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's the Eagles behind on the scoreboard, but with the football here as we start the 4th quarter.
Hang in there now. Hang in there now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Wentz now on first down. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic and people wanting to put a little contact on him. Really well done.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
1 score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Now Wentz. Got to have this one. He finds Aguilar over the middle. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. Well, they deemed it 4-down territory, and they got 4 yards to pick up the first.
Come on now, come on now, let's go. Lion. 82.
Wentz now on first down. Open man is Samuel, complete. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Great 15.
Now Wentz. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Darren Lee picks it, and his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. Scoring has really been at a premium, and Charles, you got to tip your cap to this defense coming in here. Their offense, too, but this whole team coming in here on the road, getting a hard-fought win.
I think the way that they're finishing this one up, an exclamation point on a terrific game. As you noted, hard for them to put points on the board, and they hold them down one more time and finalize things.
They start on the ground with Elliott. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the 4th quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers, 4th quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Now Prescott. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Fielded just inside the 20. call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what, a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. They'll run it now out of the gun. 8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this.
Hang in there now. Hang in there now. Touch.
Sproles. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
Short gain, last 2 plays. Who do you think's excited about that?
Absolutely, this defense, they're saying go right ahead with those. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 11. He's back to throw. Goes underneath for Sproles. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and it'll be 4th down. So down 6, and they know they need this one on 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. It's complete. Swings it out to his running back. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and it would appear the Cowboys are going to win this football game. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. And they'll indeed take a knee. Well, Charles, the old saying, the old cliche, if you will, points at a premium, that certainly applied here, didn't it?
And that almost felt like open up a time capsule, didn't it? Old school football, low scoring, close game. What a way to finish it up.
You loved it, didn't you?
I
loved
did.
The defenses.
I certainly did. Brought back the images of the game of old.
So for Dallas, the win will help them keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 6-3 on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, their season is on life support somewhat now at 3-6. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in New Orleans against the Saints. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.